I mean, I think every organization has to look at, what is practical for them to achieve, and they have to try some of the bigger things and figure out where to scale back. I'm thinking of a
Mhm.
CIO at an industrial supply organization that I spoke with, who uh, they had some relationship with IBM. They started working on, could Watson be our digital customer service representative?
Mhm.
Could Watson um, answer more of the questions or assist the sales representatives in answering more of the questions that they get on a daily basis? So, big idea, would have made a significant difference for their business if they had gotten it to work, and in the long run they may get it to work,
Mhm.
but they went a certain distance down that path and realized that they had created an AI engine that could answer one little niche of questions, and there was a lot of territory that they were not able to address. It was just going to take too long to train the system to provide the kind of automation that they thought would be possible. So he said that he was going to go back to that. He's going to work on that again, probably in the future. But for now, they focused on more coming up with a good, knowledge base for the customer service representatives who still have to field those questions. So, uh, great things are possible, but
Mhm.
you really have to be careful about the idea that there are just these magical technologies that you're just going to plug them in, they're going to suck up all your data and analyze it without any, human intervention or thought whatsoever.
Exactly. Spit out
Does not
something
tend to happen that
marvelous,
way.
right? And something miraculous is going to happen just because you install the latest technology, right, in your organization.
Right.
I know
Yes.
exactly that, and we want that enthusiasm going, right? We do want this what is aspirational trends going on, and people really like to talk about them, right? It
Hmm.
just, again, other experts I'm speaking with, other leaders, analysts, they all agree that when you start very small, very manageable, you will be able to demonstrate your success fast, and not just to your
Right.
clients and outside world, but inside your own organization, right? You need this kind of troops to support you. So it's not an easy journey, at least that's what I'm finding with my connection, my own experience as well. But
Hmm.
at the same time, if we can leave our viewers with something to look forward here, so any tips that you found from your contacts, anything that's working for them.
Um, well, I guess in terms of the things that are um, not so earth-shaking, but very practical. I mean, robotic process automation stands out as something that a lot of organizations are making some progress with. And there are ideas too about how robotic process automation and AI will come together, and the bots will get smarter. But for now, it's really just modeling how people perform their jobs and training a bot to do that task um, on the people's behalf. And it tends to be typically drudge work. So not necessarily terribly glamorous. We're not automating whole jobs, but we're automating the task of sucking
Yes, very
information out
well
of one
saying.
spreadsheet or one application and entering it into another. Things that make people crazy because they think those systems should talk to each other, but maybe there's not a convenient API, and so being able to work around those issues. I mean, it strikes me as kind of a kludge in a lot of ways. It's just sort of force fitting things to work together, but it works in enough circumstances that people are finding that it's productive to pursue. And there are issues about trying to make those bots more resilient, so that they don't break down the first time they encounter some data that wasn't anticipated in the design. And try and anticipate more things. Try and anticipate that the user interface, if you have a bot going in and essentially using the HTML forms-based user interface rather than going through an API, you can't have it breaking every time a button gets moved. So that, that's a very, very
Yeah,
basic
that's a
issue
fantastic
there.
entry point. Absolutely. RPA is task automating, but you can move to a little more strategic process improvement initiative there. And you can, again, serve better your customer, your employees, right? Absolutely. This is a very good entry point. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just a, it, I guess as opposed to the business process management technologies that tend to be a little bit, require a little bit more engineering and planning. RPA is something that is kind of, the cheap and cheerful solution to some things.